Once upon a time, in the heart of Sydney, Australia, a chilling tale unfolded on the 20th of July, 2019. This story revolves around a woman named Jessica Camilleri and her mother, Rita. Brace yourselves. This is a case almost too gruesome to mention. Jessica, a 25-year-old woman, faced a lifelong struggle. Her parents noticed delays in her development from an early age. Walking, talking, reading, writing, and math all proved to be formidable challenges. Doctors diagnosed her with autism, OCD, depression, ADHD, and even hinted at schizophrenia. Jessica's journey through life was marked by hardships and taunts. At school, she was a target for bullying, responding with violent outbursts. Her peers often bore the brunt of her frustration. Year 9 saw Jessica suspended for biting and hair pulling, and the following year, she was expelled for attacking a schoolgirl. Jessica's home life mirrored her struggles at school. Conflicts with family members were a constant, leading to her father leaving home after a fight with her parents. Despite the turmoil, Rita, Jessica's mother, remained a steadfast supporter, vowing never to institutionalize her daughter. As the years passed, Jessica's aggression escalated. She developed a bizarre hobby, making menacing phone calls to random numbers, threatening violence. Victims like Natalie and Matthew experienced the terror firsthand. Despite Rita's efforts, Jessica continued down a destructive path, verbally abusing her mother and others in public. In June 2018, Jessica's aggression reached new heights, leading to a diagnosis of intermittent explosive disorder. Prescribed medications brought little relief, and by December, Jessica decided to stop taking them. July 2019 arrived with tensions escalating further. Rita, determined to seek help for Jessica, reported her threatening phone calls to the police, resulting in a caution. On the 20th of July, with a 4-year-old relative staying overnight, tensions peaked. Jealous of the attention the child received, Jessica's anger intensified. An ordinary evening took a dark turn when Jessica claimed a severe stomachache, calling a doctor while attempting to order fast food. The doctor, realizing Jessica's deception, left after a futile wait. Rita, increasingly worried, called her eldest daughter Christy, contemplating institutionalization. As Rita dialed emergency services, Jessica intervened, initiating a struggle for the phone. In a horrifying turn of events, Jessica overpowered her mother, dragging her into the kitchen. There, she unleashed a savage attack, stabbing Rita multiple times in the face, head, and neck. The 4-year-old relative, a brave soul, tried to intervene but suffered a gruesome slash across his face. Jessica's relentless assault shattered 4 knives. With a serrated knife, she decapitated her mother, severing the head. Covered in her mother's blood, Jessica carried the severed head toward a neighbor's house, only to drop it on the pavement along the way. The heinous act sent shockwaves through the community, leaving everyone bewildered and horrified. In the aftermath, questions lingered about the system's ability to support individuals like Jessica and the strain placed on families trying to cope. The chilling events of that fateful night in July 2019 underscored the need for a more compassionate and effective approach to mental health issues, shedding light on the darkness that can consume the lives of those affected and their loved ones. When Jessica, in a state of panic and distress, approached her neighbor, Allison, and frantically asked for assistance, Allison, sensing the urgency, dialed the emergency services to summon both the police and an ambulance. The call that followed was chilling, revealing a tale of violence and unimaginable horror. As Allison relayed the information to the police, it became apparent that something deeply disturbing had occurred in Jessica's home. A fight between Jessica and her mother, Rita Camilleri, had escalated to a point of unspeakable violence. Jessica, with trembling hands and a sense of urgency, confessed to the emergency operator that she believed she had killed her mother. The operator, trying to gather crucial details for the responding authorities, probed Jessica for information about the incident. Jessica described a harrowing scene where her mother, driven by frustration and anger, had attacked her with a knife. In a desperate act of self-defense, Jessica claimed she managed to grab the knife and, in a heated moment, retaliated by stabbing her mother multiple times. The shock and horror of the situation intensified when Jessica disclosed that, in a fit of rage, she had decapitated her own mother. The gruesome revelation painted a picture of unimaginable violence within the walls of their family home. Jessica's frantic call for help revealed the severity of the situation, prompting a swift response from emergency services. The police arrived at Jessica's home to a haunting sight. Jessica, clad in a nightdress, stood outside, covered in her mother's blood. The police, undoubtedly taken aback by the grim scene, questioned Jessica about the events that had transpired inside the house. Her account painted a horrifying picture of a domestic dispute turned deadly. As the police ventured inside, they discovered a 4-year-old boy hidden in the living room. The child, a silent witness to the brutality, bore physical and psychological scars. His cheek bore a deep cut, and his hand had a small wound. Surgery was necessary to address the physical injuries, but the emotional trauma ran much deeper. The investigation inside the house led to the discovery of Rita Camilleri's lifeless body. The decapitation was a gruesome reality, and Jessica's actions had left a horrific crime scene. The mother's head, severed from her body, lay outside the home, a shocking testament to the brutality that had unfolded within those walls. Jessica, now in police custody, exhibited signs of mental distress as she pointed to her mother's head, asking if it could be sewn back onto her shoulders. The gravity of the situation was apparent, and the legal and psychological ramifications loomed large. The community was left grappling with the shock of such an unimaginable event. Behind the closed doors of an ordinary suburban home, a nightmare had unfolded, forever altering the lives of those involved. Jessica's call for help had exposed a tale of domestic turmoil that escalated into an almost incomprehensible act of violence. The legal proceedings that followed would undoubtedly delve into the complexities of the case, examining Jessica's mental state and the circumstances that led to such a heinous crime. The psychological scars left on the young boy who witnessed the gruesome events unfold would require delicate and comprehensive care. As the community attempted to come to terms with the tragedy, the case of Rita Camilleri served as a stark reminder of the hidden struggles that can occur behind closed doors. The layers of pain, frustration, and despair that culminated in that fateful night were not only a personal tragedy, but a wake-up call for society to address the mental health challenges and domestic issues that often remain unseen until it's almost too late. When Jessica was taken to the police station for questioning, she claimed to have been attacked by her own mother, Rita, and insisted that she acted in self-defense. However, there was a peculiar detail that caught the investigators' attention. Jessica had no physical injuries. Her demeanor was unsettling, showing little remorse for the heinous act she had committed. As crime scene investigators delved into the matter, a grim truth emerged. Rita, the supposed aggressor, had over 90 defensive injuries. Her hands bore the evidence of a desperate struggle for survival. In her final moments, she fought valiantly against her own daughter, Jessica. The details were gruesome. Jessica had sliced off the tip of Rita's nose, plucked out both her eyes, and even squeezed one of them in her hand. The revelation shocked the community, leading to Jessica being charged with the murder of her own mother. While awaiting trial, she was confined to a facility where her violent tendencies continued. Jessica didn't hesitate to lash out, pulling hair and on one horrifying occasion, pouring boiling water over a fellow inmate. The trial began on November 30th, 2020, painting a vivid picture of the brutality that occurred. The evidence showcased Jessica's disturbing actions, including her penchant for making disturbing phone calls. The courtroom also learned of her obsession with horror movies, especially the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Jeepers Creepers. While it was not claimed that these movies caused the crime, the connection was brought up in court and the media. A family friend revealed Jessica's fear of psychiatric hospitals, expressing a preference for committing violence rather than being confined. Jessica's defense team argued that she suffered from various mental disorders, impairing her ability to control anger and emotions. Conditions such as intellectual disability disorder, autism, severe anger issues, narcissistic features, OCD, depression, anxiety, and ADHD were presented. However, the prosecution countered with evidence from a psychiatrist, asserting that Jessica knew right from wrong. During the victim impact statements, Rita's family poured their hearts out, but Jessica displayed little interest. Despite the overwhelming evidence, the jury was convinced that Jessica's judgment was impaired by her conditions. Consequently, she was found guilty of manslaughter, not murder, and sentenced to 21 years and 7 months. In a twist of fate, Jessica spoke with a forensic psychiatrist, admitting to the brutal attack. She described hacking her mother like a butcher, twisting her head until it was fully removed. Shockingly, she attributed the brutality to inspiration from horror movies she had watched while incarcerated. As time passed, Jessica claimed to feel remorse for her actions, though skepticism lingered. In September 2022, she appealed her sentence, leaving the outcome uncertain. Jessica's older sister, Christy, revealed that before the attack, Jessica had all the support she needed but refused it. Instead, Jessica sought attention for her behavior, blind to the unconditional love her mother, Rita, had always provided. The town was left grappling with the aftermath of this gruesome tale, haunted by the chilling reality that even within the seemingly ordinary, darkness could take hold. The case of Jessica and Rita Camilleri serves as a stark reminder of the thin line between sanity and the depths of human darkness, a story almost too gruesome to mention.